Welcome to your weekly airplane news update. This is the week of April 12th, 2022. We have actually a lot of stories this week. I can tell you one thing, it's been a bad week to be somebody on TV or on YouTube flying airplanes. And the first story is going to be about Trevor Jacobs. We talked about him. We'll talk about some more who got his license revoked. We'll talk about the failed plane swap that was put on by RedBull. There was some issues as well with some of the paperwork. And we'll talk about the FAA taking blame for the capital evacuation that happened a couple of weeks ago. We'll show a video of a Tesla hitting a VisionJet, which was not a good thing. And then lastly, we'll talk about a student pilot that was shot by someone on the ground during landing. So let's get to it. Well, the first story this week is about Trevor Jacobs. You might remember his stunt. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure you've seen it online if you're a pilot and you've been following anything, anywhere. People have been talking about this. Well, he finally got what he deserves. Well, somewhat, to a certain extent. He lost his license. The FAA pulled his certificate for 10 months. 10 months. For wrecking an aircraft in the wilderness, in the middle of California, where wildfires are crazy, where people could have been hiking, and all he got is 10 months. Think about it for a second. I know, we fly drones. We actually represent a big group of drone pilots as well. We've seen fines from the FAA for $100,000, $200,000 for people flying their drone, flying a 250-gram drone. They got several $100,000 fines. This guy flies his airplane, crashes on purpose, and gets 10 months suspension, no financial fines. Just doesn't make any sense. On top of all this, he has the audacity to create a video. I'm not even going to put a link. I don't even want you to look it up because he doesn't need the views, to basically make fun of the FAA. At the end of it, he mentions an email from the FAA that shows that his sentence was reduced from 12 months to 10 months. Seems like the FAA inspector was all nice and dandy and said, yeah, we'll send you the paperwork and then get it all done. So now he can reapply for his license in 10 months. This is a travesty at best. I think the FAA needs to review all of this. Actually, I think the NTSB needs to get involved here. He took the wreckage away from the crash site after he found out that he probably had done something he wasn't supposed to, and that is against the NTSB regulation. So at one point, we hope that the NTSB is going to do something. We hope that the California Park is going to do something as well. This is a slap on the face of every single pilot out there that is trying to do things the right way. So FAA, if you're listening, well, you kind of screwed this one up. And then speaking of screwing up, another YouTuber, but this one is a good one, Trent Palmer, you may be familiar with him, puts great footage out by drone and also by airplane. He flies a aircraft in a deep country. Well, the word out is that he lost his pilot certificate. He's been a great proponent of aviation for a long time, and he apparently has a video coming out, which I think by the time this is live, his video will have been live. So we'll talk about it some more next week. It's kind of sad to see that the good people are actually getting in trouble with the FAA. He's been going at this for a while. Apparently, there's a lot of backstory that I think we're going to find out. But this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me when Trevor Jacobs gets away with 10 months and then you see Trent Palmer getting his license pulled. So anyway, we'll have more information on that pretty soon. But speaking of people doing stupid stuff, we have the folks at RedBull that put on a plane swap event, which I have to say, I watched live. I was really excited about it until I found out that they didn't have approval to do all of this. Even worse, they requested approval, they were denied, and decided to still go ahead and plan and do the stunt as planned, which I think is a big no-no. Again, making every single pilot out there that's trying to do the right thing look like idiots because, well, these guys decide to go and do this. Not only this, but only one of the airplane was able to be recovered. The other one crashes into the ground. They never showed the footage live, but there are pictures online that you can see of the aircraft, well, basically hitting the ground. They said they had a parachute in the interview afterwards. The parachute didn't deploy. They knew that when they did the interview, still decided to say that the airplane was saved, which I think is, well, anyway, just the whole thing, which is surprising. RedBull puts out a lot of these events. I'm sure they're going to have a lot harder time to do this in the future, at least in the United States, if this decided to go and attempt all of this well, without getting approval, even worse, after the FAA told them not to do it, they still decided to do it. So I'm sure the FAA is going to take action, probably do pull a Trevor Jacobs on these guys and pull their licenses, which seems to be warranted. Anyways, speaking of the FAA is taking blame for the Capitol evacuation that happened a couple weeks ago. There was a flight. The U.S. Army Golden Knights had a parachute demonstration over the national parks in D.C., and it sounds like the FAA didn't tell everyone. So the Capitol Police decided to evacuate the Capitol. And now the FAA is saying, well, oops, that's on us. We didn't really communicate all that well when all these guys were parachuting in the DC TFR, and then everybody was evacuated from government buildings. So, well, at least they're fessing up to it, but this is not really a great week for the FAA, I have to say, based on all of these news right here. All right, another thing that's kind of weird and stupid, it seems like there must have been a full moon last week or something, but a driverless Tesla is seen on video hitting the tail of a Cirrus VisionJet. This is in Washington State. The car appears to be in summon mode. If you're not familiar with Teslas, you can use the app on your phone to summon the car, and then it's driverless. It basically just comes to you and picks you up wherever you are. Well, the sensors must not have been in the right location because it didn't sense that there was the tail of the aircraft. The Tesla rams into it. I'm sorry, the Tesla, not the Cessna. The Tesla rams into it and then moves the airplane around. It's not very clear what kind of damage was done to the aircraft, but you can see the video playing. I think it's... As a Tesla owner, it's kind of amusing. I'm sure as the Cirrus owner, it's not amusing to get your airplane damaged in that fashion. All right, the last thing this week is a student pilot was shot, or the aircraft of a student pilot was shot at during landing. This happened at Gardner Municipal Airport. The aircraft was shot on Monday. The FAA said that the pilots noticed as they were flying with the flight instructor, they heard a loud pop, and then they started smelling fuel. You can see from the video that the fuel is actually leaking out of the tank. They say that this happened around 700 feet. As they were 2 minutes away from landing. They were just lucky that there was no fire that happened after this, but well, whoever did it, just probably the same people that shoot at drones all the time. All right, this is all I have for you this week. As always, like, subscribe, leave your comments, and we'll see you next week.